If your schedule is so packed that your calendar gives you attitude, don't worry, I've got you covered. Today we're fitting in a quick 20-minute stretch routine to get you loosened up and ready for the day. Whether you're in a suit or still in your pajamas, it works. Here we're going to start with this neck exercise where we're going to use the muscles in the front of the neck, tuck the chin, and lift up. Now, if you're spending any time at a desk and you're sitting staring at your screen, you want to really stretch out the back of the neck and start to strengthen the front of the neck. This is going to do a lot for steadying that position of the head and really making sure you have that neutral neck and that really good posture in the neck. This is something we don't really work on too much in here, but every now and then we'll throw in some neck exercises. If you feel like it does benefit you a lot, definitely do this on your own. We want to get those muscles nice and strong without over tightening. Let's go ahead and do some glute bridges here. We're going up and down with the hips. No equipment needed for this first part of the workout. 20 minutes of full range of motion, flexibility, something that you can do pretty much anywhere, either before your day or if you're taking a lunch break or something, or maybe right before you go to sleep. Definitely can do this at any time, and it's short enough where you can just drop down to the floor, get it done. 15 seconds. All right, we're going to do knee extensions here. This is going to allow the hamstrings to flex and stretch a little bit. Bring your hands behind the leg, and let's go ahead and straighten the leg and bend. With this knee, we're going to straighten that knee each time, or at least as much as possible. If you are a little bit tighter, you might have tight hamstrings. That's okay. Don't force anything. Just go to the point where you have to stop. Maybe this is as far as you can get. That's okay. Just go up and down there. And then little by little, you'll be able to get more range of motion. That was me as well. I had very, very tight hamstrings. I'm just going to adjust that. And little by little, the body just starts to get used to it. And it starts to allow that flexibility. That tightness is just a protection. Maybe you have a tight back or some other injury that your hamstring is protecting. Just takes that repetition to open it up. All right, let's go ahead and switch to the other leg. And in addition to stretching out the hamstring, we're also getting this quad a little bit stronger. This is not a super high intensity exercise, but you should be feeling maybe at least a little bit of that quad burn in the front of the leg. Try to flex your ankle, pull your toes down toward you. That's going to allow your calf to stretch right in here. Good, 30 seconds. We're halfway done with this one. So different stretches each time. This is a concentrated focus on the lower body. Lots of lower body during this workout, this stretch routine here, with the exception of 2 upper bodies that are coming up. But other than that, lots and lots of lower body. Let's come up to our hands and knees. We're going to do some cats and dogs. So up to the hands and knees. Cat position is right here. Squeeze the abs like you're doing a crunch. Push your spine to the ceiling. Take this one slow. Synchronize it with your breathing. Inhale as you're here in the dog position. Exhale in the cat. You're using the abs to push the air out of your lungs. Then you're relaxing the abs to allow the air to come back in. The next 2 exercises, we are going to open up the shoulders a bit. But again, most of this is lower body. So think hips, hamstrings, quads, calves. Right now getting the spine involved a little bit. Up next, we will be on our side. All right, let's go ahead and do that now. So on the side, Top leg forward, bottom leg back. We're going to go into full arm circles here. This foot position is just to stabilize your lower body, making sure we don't lift up the foot. From here, going all the way around with the arm circles. Allowing the torso to rotate. So we're getting not only the arm, but also the shoulder and the rib cage and the spine. Really big opening here. And then usually with a big exercise like this, you're going to feel it in the spot that needs it the most. So it might be the chest, it might be the shoulder, it might be the upper back, or even the neck. So just be aware, every exercise is an assessment as well. Go ahead and switch directions. So each exercise is going to tell you a lot of information about what's going on with your body. We just need to quiet the mind a little bit and listen to the body. So it helps to focus on the sensation of the body, which is a little bit different than thinking about it. If you think about your shoulder, you kind of put a picture of your shoulder in your mind. Maybe you analyze your shoulder, or you remember that high school shoulder injury that you had. But becoming aware of the sensation of your shoulder is a little bit different. It's getting more into the physical, the feeling of the shoulder. What does this feel like? Not analyzing the feeling, but actually feeling the feeling. I know it seems like a subtle difference, but it is very important, because then that'll allow you to stay within the range that is comfortable and doable for you and not overdo it when we get into the harder exercise. All right, optional if you want to grab a weight. I'm actually going to go weight free today just to demonstrate. We're going to do a rotator cuff. So here's your arm motion, keeping the elbow at your side, lifting the hand up and down. Now with the leg, we're going to lift up the knee and then lift up the foot. So notice how both of those are timed with my hand raise. I'm going to lift up the knee, lift up the foot. With the hip, we're getting internal and external rotation. With the shoulder, we're getting only external rotation way up here. Just like those arm circles, though, you want to get the entire area moving, not just the shoulder socket, but the upper back. You can even open up the chest. In 10 seconds, we're going to switch to the other side, do the same thing, starting with the arm circle and then continuing to the rotator cuff. All right, let's go arm circle here. So remember the leg position, we got top leg forward, bottom leg back. Take that top arm all the way up and around. Big deep breath in. Going back again to the concept of feeling that shoulder, experiencing the sensation, what it feels like. That's all meditation is. So the more you can get into a meditative state, which is just fancy talk for feeling what you feel and not thinking your way out of it, right? So turn off the chatter in the mind, become aware of the sensation of the body. The body will always tell you what it needs. And one hint is if you start thinking, okay, switch direction. If you start thinking things like, oh, I should be able to do more, or, oh, the form should be better, don't should on yourself. It's okay. That's just a sign that your brain is too involved. Turn off your brain, feel the feeling. We are all experts over our individual body. You know more about your body than I do. No matter how much studying I do of anatomy, no matter how long I've been a trainer, you know more about your own body than I do. So in the position, in the arm circle, you are going to trust that your body knows how to do it. Trust that you're not going to overdo it. Trust that you are able to accomplish the range of motion how you need to accomplish it. So it's kind of the 80-20 rule. I'll take you 80% of the way there, but the last 20% is about using your own intuition and feeling what you feel. All right, I'll get off my soapbox now. Let's do rotator cuff. right here. So rotator with the arm, elbows touching your rib cage, up and down with the hand. And remember with the lower body, we're doing clamshell and then reverse clamshell right here. So coordinating that with the arm motion. Remember, I said this is very lower body focused today. So we're halfway done. We have 30 more seconds. Very lower body focus. We are not doing any more arms after this exercise. This will be the last time you use your arms, except for assisting the legs. 15 seconds. Up next, we're going to be doing a fire hydrant on our hands and knees. So we are using our arms, I guess, to hold ourselves in position. Let's get into it. I'll show you from the front view here. Fire hydrant's just right here. We're just going to lift up one leg and bring it back down. Repeat on the same side over and over. Bring the knee and the foot out. So yeah, there is a little bit of shoulder element here. Keep the elbows straight. Try to keep your shoulders directly over your wrists. What you do not want to happen is something like this. You shift off to the side. So one way to avoid that is to lift up the opposite hand. So I'm moving my left leg, lift up my right hand, just to make sure I can't shift over that way. So there's no weight on this. So even if you do have that hand down, there's really not much weight on that hand. Last 15, then we'll switch to the other side. All right, very good. Let's switch to the other side. Other leg. Straight out to the side. I'm excited about the next exercise. I haven't done this in years. It used to be somewhat of a staple. It's another lower body and lower back exercise coming up next in a little over 30 seconds. But for right now, just focus on the side of the hips. Both hips are working. Your bottom hip even has to stabilize in order to allow that top leg to lift. So both sides of your hips right here, very important exercise for general stability. It's very similar to that clamshell that we did a few minutes ago, but a little higher intensity. So same kind of range of motion. 10 seconds. Up next, we're going to be lying face down on the floor. Okay, here we go. Face down. Rest your forehead on your hands. You're going to bend. Let's do this all on the same side. Bend your left knee 90 degrees. Bring your left foot up and over toward the right side. So left foot toward the right side. And then come back to neutral. Right foot bends, right knee bends, right foot toward the left side. This one's called scorpion. You're going to reach your left foot to the right side, right foot to the left side. Try to keep your shoulders down. Try not to rotate your upper torso, just your lower back is rotating. 25 seconds. Going back to that little thing I said earlier about feeling the sensation. You be the judge of how far you go. Don't force anything. You don't have to go all the way. You're not going to get extra points for going further than what's comfortable. All right, up next, let's do a quad stretch. Grab onto that foot, pull the heel toward the glute. So think of what we've done so far. We did a little bit of shoulders, not much, but a little. We've done some spine with that scorpion. We did cats and dogs. Now we're really going to go lower body heavy here. So quad stretch, squeeze your glutes tight, push your hips down to the floor. Pull that heel toward the glute. And get into that stretch where it feels like it's enough of a stretch where you feel like it's doing something, but it's not too much. Don't force anything. If you can't get your heel all the way to the glute, that's okay. Hold it back here if you need to. Last 15 seconds, and then we'll switch to the other side. All right, good. Let's release that foot. Switch to the other leg. I'm going to turn around here. Grab onto that foot. We're pulling that heel toward the glute, making sure our back is stable. So we're squeezing our glutes, we're squeezing our abs in order to stabilize that lower back. I much prefer doing a quad stretch lying down instead of standing, just because you have the floor to line you up. Too often I've gone to running trails and see people stretching their quads and they're pulling their knee all the way back behind them. They're hyperextending their lower back. That used to be me, and now I just stretch on the floor. Quad stretch on the floor is great, just lines you up. 10 seconds. We're going to be here for a few more minutes, lying face down. Let's release the leg, and I'm going to get away with this. I'm going to call this a back exercise, even though we are working the arms. I guess I misspoke earlier. Let's go palms down. Palms down. We're going to keep the elbows straight. We're going to squeeze the shoulder blades together. Arch the back and lift up the hands. So your choice, if you want to hold here, if you want to go up and down. So feel free to hold here, get in that posture. Line up the neck so you're actually looking straight down or kind of slightly in front of you. Make sure you're not tucking down here, but you're also not hyperextending up here. You're down here, neutral neck with the rest of your back. Squeeze the glutes right here. And again, if you want to go up and down, just lower down, come back up. Make sure you keep your glutes tight the whole time though. 10 seconds. Up next, we have a pigeon stretch, another favorite. Really good stretch for the hip. All right, pigeon stretch. We're going to tuck the leg under. My right foot is going to be directly touching my left hip. So that's first order of business. That's the first goal. Once you get that, then you can round forward. Allow the spine to drape over. And breathe. Almost done with this stretching sequence here. By the time we're done with this 20-minute class, this 20-minute part, we will have done 13 exercises. That's quite a lot to squeeze in. Very short amount of time. That's really all you need to open up. And if you just stay consistent with it, do it every day or even just 4 or 5 days a week. All right, go ahead and switch to the other leg. Pigeon stretch. So now I'm going to take my left foot, touch it to my right hip. Once I get that position, round it forward. Good. And I think I misspoke again. I think 12 exercises. I think we'll finish 12 exercises by the time we're done with the next one, which is the last one of this sequence before we move on to core. Relax the back. If you're doing any kind of sitting, no matter what it is, driving, sitting at your desk, watching TV, your hips are going to get tight. So this is a really great one. All right, so let's have a seat with the legs out in front. And let's do a sitting forward bend. So right here, a lot of different ways you can do this. You are going to be the judge. When I was in middle school and high school, even up through college, I would have had to bend my knees. So if you need to do that, that's fine. If you can't touch your toes, if you can, go for it. Straighten out your legs, try to touch your toes, flex your ankles, pull your toes back. Yeah, it was sad. I mean, I think my earliest memory, I think as early as 6th grade. So what is that, like 10, 11 years old? We did the sit and reach test. It was the only one I failed. And I was like this, I couldn't go anymore. My legs must have grown too fast for my body. So it took a while, but it is possible to open up the hamstrings. You just have to be consistent. Last 10 seconds here, then we'll move on to the core. Big deep breath in. there's the 20-minute flexibility.
I hope you enjoyed that. Remember, what is effective with stretching is consistency. So even if you only did the first 10 minutes of that class, if you do it over and over and over again, you're gonna get the results. Make sure to like and subscribe. And remember, I have a list of exercises in the description. I'll see you next time.